baby time. It's time
Hooray.
for baby talk. Because Becky Lynch recently announced that her and her fiance, Seth Rollins, are expecting their first child. And Becky Lynch has now become the first woman in North American wrestling history to vacate the top title in a company because she is pregnant. She's taken some time off, understandably, and their baby is due in December. Presumably then Seth Rollins may take some time off as well. But there's already been some speculation around what could be next for Becky Lynch after baby time, because babies can take up a huge portion of one's life. So I've heard. I don't have one myself, but I have heard that they can be quite a handful. And you and I have talked previously about Hollywood have got a major interest in Becky Lynch as well. So what do you think could be next for Becky post Sprog?
I mean, after her maternity leave is over,
Very good.
Well, I think that's the joy is obviously the world. I would still hope the world is her oyster, because she's sort of got everything teed up ahead of her, really. Of course, childcare is can almost be a full-time job in itself, but of course she does have two young, very athletic parents who can split the load. I absolutely think that yes, Seth Rollins. It's not one of Becky Lynch's greatest achievements is breaking through the glass ceiling of WWE. Winning the first ever women's main event of WrestleMania. So I don't think, it's not necessarily looking in the lens of, well, Seth will obviously be working and Becky will be taking care of the child. I don't think it's that. You were talking about incredibly rich people who can afford probably the very best form of childcare. So worrying necessarily that the child is going to impact Becky's life too much, maybe that's premature. But she has teed up so many amazing things for herself. Like for me personally, regardless of whether I had a child or not, I'd probably want to move to Hollywood and work limited shooting days and earn loads and loads of money, and then be able to not risk injury while I have a child who depends on me. She vacated the title without giving it up, so there's a storyline right there whenever she decides to come back. The options are open for her. I think, obviously the only thing that gives me pause is WWE, who are, by the way, very happy for Becky, of course, but we also know that WWE can get very skittish around people who leave at inopportune times. They, normally when it comes to injuries, WWE get very nervous about snake bit people. And
the Revival are a clear example of that.
Christian, these people who, if they go out, even Daniel Bryan, if you go out at the wrong time with the top belt, that you tend not to get back to that point, unless of course you're Triple H. So my only worry would be if they kind of get we don't want to have you on the road all the time because we're a fairly right-wing company, and don't you have a child to be taken care of?
Yeah, my money is going down on that she is going to have a cameo at WrestleMania next year. They will have, I'm thinking someone like the Iconics come out to cut a good heel promo where they're like, we should have been on this card. Why aren't we booked? We're iconic, this, that, and the other. And then you have the Becky Lynch's music hit. Becky Lynch comes down to the ring, beats up both of them, sends them packing. Lovely feel-good moment, but not really back into a full-time schedule just yet.
Can she bring the pram down like Dean Ambrose bringing the hot dog car and just sort of ram it into the Iconics, spray kind of like milk in the eyes
Formula, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe you went with Dean Ambrose there when Raven was right there for the picking with his shopping cart. Come on, Adam.
I'm sorry, Luke. I forget who I'm doing these with.
So yeah, I think we could have that sort of cameo moment there, but I could almost not see Becky back until 2022, like in any full-time capacity. And Meltzer was kind of speculating in the Observer after the announcement that sometimes motherhood can change a person's opinions on what really is important in this world. And actually, not just motherhood, parenthood. It's not just down to sort of a woman or a man. He kind of listed that Trish Stratus, once she had her child, that was it for her. Brie Bella, once she had her child, that was it for her as well. But there are other examples, like Mickey James has had children and has just gone right back into work, or quite a few people have. So it's very much a case by case basis. And I think that Becky is one of those people that wouldn't just kind of give up all of this, because she's worked really, really hard to get to this point in WWE. But yeah, I don't think it will be next year. I think if anything, she will return to a full-time schedule the year after 2022.
I think, yeah, like you say, I think she's walking away from the most. Like she's reached heights that no woman except perhaps Charlotte and Ronda have reached. Ronda also taking a lot of time off to start a family.
Yeah.
Like at WrestleMania, Becky beat her to it. But yeah, I like you said, you can strike while the iron's hot, especially when TV offers come a calling. You don't really want to turn them down, and she can certainly do a lot more of them in the lead up to December, and even then after. Like it's it will be a much less rigorous schedule, a much less physically demanding. It would make total sense to me that she just goes all in on keeping that ball rolling when it comes to TV offers. So yeah, that could then just like take her to the point where, yeah, I could understand us not seeing her for a long while. But ultimately, we want what's best for her and little either Beth or Seki, depending on.
Oh dear.